Gators Breakdown, because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
The Gators Breakdown podcast is ready to go. I'm your host, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC, coming at you live from the Swamp, post-game reaction, recap, all that. From Tennessee ending their streak. It had been 10 in a row, 10 losses in a row right here in the Swamp for Tennessee. Not this year. They come into the Swamp 31-11. They leave winners for the first time out of Gainesville since 2003. Just one more mark in this Billy Napier era. Not on the sidelines anymore. First time he has not led that team out of the tunnel since he had been hired as the Gator head coach. Remember, last time Florida was in the Swamp, it was against Mississippi State. Florida won that game. That was Billy Napier's last game as head coach. Florida hasn't been home since. Bye week at Georgia, at Kentucky, at Ole Miss. But the stench of that, still around. And just one more mark of the, streaks ending or historic bad performances. When Billy Napier was head coach, this staff leading the way. Now the streak against Tennessee comes to an end of them coming to the Swamp and leaving losers like we had been accustomed to. No more. 31-11, Vols come in here and just completely own Florida from the get-go. If you guys listen to the preview, I said that's a good possibility. I know a lot of the preview talk for the games aren't much looked forward to with how the season has gone and coaching search going on. But certainly, if you listen to it, said, hey, the Vols start really fast. And that they did. And went in halftime up 31-0. Well, we knew the game was over with by the first quarter. You knew it as fast as the game was going. The trend the game was going. Florida returns home. First time at home in a month. And this is the performance we get. Lackadaisical. Didn't look like they really wanted to be there. I know I heard Devin Moore a little bit in the postgame, kind of questioning the effort, that it got better in the second half, or I think Tennessee just let the foot off the gas pedal a little bit, up 31-0 at halftime. Trace Mack misses a field goal for the first time since the first game of the season. Continued issues on offense. That's just, it's non-existent right now. The offense. No consistent play up front. No consistent play at quarterback. So it is what it is. It is what it is. As MSRK says in here, unwatchable. I know a lot of you. I got a lot of messages. Some in the Gators Breakdown Plus Discord. Turned the game off at halftime. Didn't even watch the second half. I was here. I was going to do it, watch it anyway. But, yeah. Ugly performance. Do not blame anybody who did not want to watch that performance. I've never stopped watching a Gator game. This wasn't going to be the first one. I didn't leave early, anything like that. If you did, I don't blame you at all. It's a lost season, lost cause. I hate to say it doesn't mean anything because it's still a rivalry game against Tennessee. Hoping the horrors of the Swamp that have doomed them in the past would happen once again. Didn't feel good. The score probably could have been a lot worse. Like I said, in the second half, I don't think it was much what Florida did. I just think Tennessee, they knew they had the game. Took the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. I think 30-24 was my final score prediction, and we got 31-11 for the Vols. So, yeah. Harrison, Dave said we could win every game. I did say that. And I thought Florida could. I wasn't going to pick them to do it. I did, in the last 4 games, pick Florida to go 2-2. I thought Florida would beat Kentucky, and I thought Florida would beat Florida State. That's all we got left next week. Could's a strong word. I wasn't trying to hedge my bet or anything. the way Florida had played up to that point, being in every game, okay, Florida could win. I wasn't going to pick Florida to win. That would be foolish. Florida wasn't going to go beat Ole Miss. I pretty much said this one, the streak was going to end versus Tennessee. It's happened. But, yeah, got the ugly performance against Kentucky, ugly performance tonight. It's been a roller coaster since Billy Gonzalez has taken over. Maybe a better performance against Florida State next week. Bigger rivalry game than this one. You're at home. It's senior day. A lot of seniors, a lot of guys that we were counting on for big years this year are going to be walking out of that tunnel for the first, for the last time. Hopefully put a better performance out there than what we've seen. Junior says, thanks for going live, Dave. Feel for ball, playing hard. How defining will the week ahead be for the Florida Gators? I'm assuming, Junior, you're talking about some coaching stuff there. I think it will be pretty defining. We'll see. I know there's a lot of loud LSU talk. I still believe Florida's firmly in it. Where you're placing Florida and stuff right now, I don't care. Florida's in it. That's all that matters to me. And I mean that in a good way. Florida's in it. Defining week, maybe, hopefully. We know about the Saturday Egg Bowl ultimatum decision from Ole Miss now that we should hear something about Lane Kiffin there. If the decision's going to come Saturday, I mean, I would assume Lane Kiffin makes his mind up about where. I mean, Ole Miss is looking at it from if you're going to be here or not. I would imagine we get the if you're going to be here or not and the decision of where at the same, pretty much at the same time. But if that decision comes on Saturday, remember, Mississippi State plays on Friday in the Egg Bowl. If that decision comes Friday, Saturday, it's got to be out before then. I think we all know that, or likely to happen. So we'll see. Defining week could be. I'm glad y'all are confident Lane's going to LSU, but I'm not so confident. So it's fine. That is fine if you want to believe it. I'm not saying he's going to Florida either, but everybody chalking it up already, I just wouldn't do it. Adam West said, Dave, I'm watching Washington right now. Is Jed who we're getting? I don't think so. Brandon Sanders. Talked to Brandon on the way. Gator drywall Duval. And talked to him on the way to Gainesville this morning. And, yeah, Brandon, you're right, man. This was a rough one. I think this is I've seen some. I haven't seen a lot. Especially the first half of this one. I think this is the worst swamp performance I've seen. I put it up there. This one was terrible. From another lackluster performance from DJ Lagway and inconsistencies there. We'll get into some stats and stuff. And just, footwork, leaning back in throws and just not putting, not moving forward with throws. Footwork is off still. Just missing some throws. Made a couple pretty throws tonight as well. Give him some credit there, but not enough. I mean, when you're 11 of 17 for 116 yards, is there really anything to write home about? No. One touchdown, hey, I guess, okay, no interceptions, but that's kind of been the case this year when you watch DJ Lagway. If there's no interceptions, it's a very, very, very conservative approach. Not a lot of taking chances, maybe scared to take chances because of how he's played this year. Some of those chances have turned into turnovers, into interceptions. The game is in his head right now. That's just where DJ Lagway's at. Can that be fixed? We'll see. Down the road. If you got your doubts, I don't blame you. Okay, let me go to a couple comments. Everybody hit that like button. Subscribe right here on Gators Breakdown, live edition. Here from the swamp. Hopefully it sounds good. Not my normal setup, of course. But we've been doing this for a bit, and certainly comes out pretty good most of the time. Scott says, go Gators. Yep, still go Gators. Scott says, another week and Sell is gone. disappointing group, that offensive line. A group I was finally buying into a little bit this year. Of course, one group I still had a lot of questions about, but I was buying into them a bit with all the experience coming back, and we just haven't seen it. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They don't play up to potential, have not been developed. We know that. These two offensive line coaches, but it's just not giving Jaden Ball any help. I think I looked it up earlier. Nick De La Torre and I were talking. Nick and I get to sit together for the game. Without having it up right now, I don't think I do. But Jaden Ball's longest run of the season, I think, is 25 or 26 yards. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I looked it up during the game. Of the season, not this game. Jaden Ball's longest run of the season, 25, 26 yards. We know it's not him. But he's having to constantly dance and make guys miss. Had some nice runs tonight because of things that he was able to do, some beautiful jukes, some beautiful spin moves. That's Jaden Ball. We know Jaden Ball. Jaden Ball has no help. Has no help from the offense because the quarterback can't get going, can't loosen up a defense for him. Defenses get the key in on him. Offensive line can't help him at all either. Can't open up consistent run lanes, can't get him to the second level clean enough. Credit to Jaden Ball. He's high in breaking tackles numbers, partly because he also has to be. Offensive line does him no good service hardly whatsoever. I'd be so frustrated if I was him. Scott says, can't say the fans are toxic. Another sellout. You leave at halftime, that's fine. I mean, that doesn't tell me you're toxic there. It was ugly. The team was dreadful. Pathetic. It was pathetic. One of the most pathetic performances I've seen. Get rid of some people in here who just want to troll a little bit. There we go. Scott says DJ can walk. I'm just so not ready to give up, but man, it's going to take a lot of work. And like I said, I still stand by that. My biggest worry would be what does the offseason look like for him? The only way he gets it back to me is if you have, I hope it would be a great quarterback whisperer, if that's Lane Kiffin, if that's somebody else. But I think he's going to have to be out there as much as possible. I don't think we're going to get any kind of DJ Lagway we expect if he does not get close to a full offseason. So you're going to have to pair a quarterback whisperer with an entire offseason, or close to an entire offseason as you can get. That's the only way I see it getting back to the DJ Lagway we somewhat expected. Is that too far going? It might be. I don't know. But it is ugly what we're seeing out there. But this is a terrible offense right now, too. Not all on DJ Lagway. Receiver group's injured. No difference makers at tight end. It's just a combination of things. That's why it looks as bad as it does. It's not just one thing you'll be able to focus on. But for him, it's in his head as well. He has got to get better. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I don't know if it's at Florida. I don't know if it's somewhere else. He's definitely got to get some help. Chad, the only constant is ball. Yeah. Scott says give DJ's NIL to ball. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jaden Ball at the end of this year. I know he likes being a Gator, but this is a whole different world. Noidor, great point here. One of the SEC's worst defenses and they only managed to score 11. That's just pathetic. Yeah, I know a lot of people were wondering if the score streak was going to end in this one. Trace Mack misses the field goal, does hit one in the second half, and then Florida scores a late, wheel route touchdown from DJ Lagway to Jaden Ball. I mean, Jaden Ball just – I'll go over the stats in just a second. But, yeah, even involved in the passing game a bit. That's good and bad. Good for him right now, bad for the offense because you just don't want your running back to be carrying you in the passing game. He is right now because Florida just, can't get separation at all. All right, guys, if you want your comment to be shown for sure, so put it in the super chats. We'll go from there. MSRK, good point. I got some other good stats here. I'll go to the other side of it. But MSRK says Tennessee has not held an SEC opponent all year under 39 points until tonight. So 39 points to 11 points. Oof. That deserves an oof. If we go to the other side in the defense, can't gloss over them either. Another bad performance. I thought the effort was awful. Did it get better in the second half? Maybe. Like I said, I think Tennessee dialed some things back. But the intensity could not be matched from Florida towards Tennessee. Tennessee owned the trenches. Tennessee had this defense off balance. Great times for play calls for Tennessee and Josh Heupel and that offense. I mean, it was a really balanced attack. They were able to stay in third and short for most of the night. They go 9 of 13 on third down. We'll get into that and see what their third down stats look like, but certainly manageable. But then going to the defense, one stat that I had to just pull up because, I noticed another team ran over 200 yards. So Florida hadn't given up 200 or more yards rushing this season until the Kentucky game. Now have given up over 200 yards in 3 straight games. Have given up over 200 rushing yards in 3 straight games, and they didn't do it before the Kentucky game. Kentucky 233, Ole Miss 237, Tennessee 248. Youch. Certainly that side of the ball is struggling. A lot of injuries on that side of the ball right now, too. You had no Gums, no Bryce Thornton, no Mekhi Burrow. So Caleb Banks did return. Didn't really make that much of a difference. Jaden Woods out there almost did cause a fumble sack. Would have been a big play earlier for the Gators. Game was, I think it might have been 14-0, 21-0 at that point. Anyway, Alfonso Allen gets there at safety. Javari Flowers is playing. Cormani McClain gets carted off during the game. So that didn't look good. And then you have, with all that, Braden Slade is out there playing safety for the Gators. Then we finally get to see Drake Stubbs. I think we probably saw why he hadn't been out there a whole lot. Gonza Hayward's out there. I mean, you played a lot of freshmen, played a lot of backups. That is what the defense is right now. But still, your stalwarts, not doing much here. Banks, Sapp. We'll see what the replay shows. I don't even know how much I want to watch replay of this game again. Maybe I don't. It was ugly. It was ugly. It was ugly from the get-go. I mean, Banks got his first tackle in the second play of the game, but you knew from the start, Tennessee drives down the field. Cormani, open field tackle right there on tight end, I believe, for Tennessee. Just whiffs on the tackle, catch and run touchdown for Tennessee. But you could tell from the get-go, it was 9 plays, 75-yard drive to open up Tennessee. They had no loss of yardage on any play. Plays went for 12 yards, 2 yards, 10 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, 9, 6, 4, 23-yard touchdown. Then their second drive, you knew it wasn't going to get any better once you saw it again. Start on their own 40, so great field position. March down the field on a 7-play, 60-yard drive, and then gains of 19, 1, 14, 21, 3, 2, 1 touchdown. 14-0 after 2 offensive drives. Vols are averaging 8.4 yards a play, 135 yards on 2 drives. You knew it right then. It was going to be, with the way this offense is played, an uphill battle just to even get back in the game, and Florida was never in the game. So this defense, down men, effort, I think you can certainly question it. I mean, Devin Moore's brought it up in the game, in the post game, twice now, by the way, dating back to Kentucky last week. Yeah, it's just not in a good place. I thought Tennessee did a really good job of keeping them off balance. Let's see. Get back to let's get to some stats right quick. I know, just not the best, so won't spend too much time on it. We'll get to some comments after this. Hit that like button one more time, everybody. Total yards, 452 for Tennessee, 261 for the Gators, 204 yards passing for Tennessee, 116 for the Gators. Looked like that was on its way a little bit higher for Tennessee, but like I said, being up 31-0 at halftime, they weren't even passing the ball that much in the second half. 248 rushing yards for Tennessee, 145 for Florida. Let's see, 9 of 13 on third down for Tennessee, 2 of 9 for the Gators. I think Florida's first couple of drives, I think were 3 and out, if I remember right. Yeah. Total plays, 73 for Tennessee, 47 for Florida. Yards per play, 6.2 for Tennessee. That came down a bit from where it was trending, but still not great. You're not great for a Florida defense. 5.6 for the Gator offense. Average yards per completion, 12 for Tennessee. Didn't hit the big play, though. You know, that's kind of what you're worried about with this Tennessee offense, especially the way they were running the ball. But Florida stayed too high shell most of the game, very conservative approach. Of course, you want to stay in a light box if you can to play the pass. That Florida did, and Tennessee ran all over them. But story of the game, Tennessee 4 of 5 in the red zone. Florida had 1 red zone trip. Time of possession doesn't really matter. 27-27 for Tennessee, 24-18 for the Gators. DJ Lagway, 11 of 17, 116, 1 touchdown. Jaden Ball, 18 attempts, 96 yards, 5.3 yard average. Good for him. 5.3 with, like I said, not a lot of help. Lagway, 10 for 40 on the ground, had a long of 38. I mean, Lagway's longest run, longer than Jaden Ball's. I mean, it's just not the way it should be. I mean, that's not a hit on Jaden Ball by any means. Katie Daniels, 2 attempts for 9 yards. Florida receiving, Vernell Brown the third, 3 catches, 14 yards. Yeah, just everything around the line of scrimmage for him. Jaden Ball, like I said, 2 for 35. Guys, that's your leading receiver as far as the yardage goes. Jaden Ball, 2 for 35, 1 touchdown. Hayden Hanson, 2 for 23. J. Michael Sturdivant, 2 for 22. Livingston, 2 for 22. We got the Livingston staple. Or the tight end staple, but lately it's been Livingston. Florida backed up on their old goal line. Play action rollout. I don't know why teams don't know it's coming. Everybody, it's the easiest play to see coming for Florida. A lot of them are easy to see, but that one backed up on the old goal line. That one's gonna be called. Joey Aguilar, 17 of 22 for Tennessee, 204 yards, 1 touchdown. See Bishop, running back for Tennessee, 24 attempts, 116 yards, 4.8 yards a carry. Star Thomas, 9 for 71, had that big 52-yard run all the way down to the 1-yard line. That was the biggest takeaways there. And then once again, I put it in the preview, Tennessee does a great job of spreading the ball around. Great job of spreading the ball around their receivers here. So Davis goes for 5 catches, 72 yards and a touchdown. Brazel goes for 4 for 53. Matthews, 3 for 45. But you notice, along with 23, along with 19, along with 21, like I mentioned earlier, you didn't get the back-breaking 40, 50-yard bomb that Tennessee usually gets on everybody. That's so. If you would have told me they were up 31-0 at halftime, I'd have been like, okay, they probably have a few explosive big plays. Not how it played out. Not how it played out. And we were talking about the defense, and if we go to the passing right quick, I mean, Aguilar started 10 for 10, but it was 12, 10, 23, 19, 14, 14, 21. Then kind of pretty conservative after that. 6, 7, 5, 15, 15, 9, 2, 10, 7, 15. Just, so started 10 for 10 and then ended the game 4 of 4. It was kind of, you see it in between there, but started the game really well, ended the game really well in a streak. But yeah, pretty interesting when you're playing Tennessee and you don't see the big play. Go to some advanced stats right quick. I want to go look at third down. Tennessee, 9 of 13. Florida, 2 of 9. Distance to go, I mean, there you go again. Tennessee living in third and 5 to 6 to go. Florida living in about 3rd and 8. I mean, just been the story all season. Been the story all season. First down. First down average game, Florida 7.3. But you had some Tennessee 6.4. Florida had some lossy yardage plays. Let me see. Is there a tackle for loss anywhere? Yeah. Tennessee with 6 tackles for loss. Florida with 3. We go back to the Gator defense here. Sacks, Florida 1, Tennessee 2. Frustrating performance. There you go. Look at your quick stats here. There's no reason to really dive into much deeper there as far as stats go. Doesn't paint a pretty picture at all. I mean, it's 31-11, 31-0 at halftime. But actually, that is one place I did want to go. And then we'll stop. But looking at the first half stats, it was 31-0 at halftime. Tennessee 323. 323 yards at halftime of their 452 total. It's about 120 yards in the second half. 129 yards in the second half. Ouch. 4-6 on third down. Florida was 0 for 5 on third down in the first half. Average yard per play for Tennessee, 7.3. For the Gators, 4.4. I mean, that was your game. The door keeps getting open, by the way, so I'm making sure. So I'm out here in the visiting AD press box. So, or box, not press box, but the visiting AD box. So, yeah. So I just got to keep peeking up there a little bit. If that's why I seem kind of disjointed, that's a little bit why, because I'm trying to look at the stats over here, but then the door keeps getting open and people are peeking in here and all kind of stuff. So kind of distracts me a little bit. The beauty of live production and visiting AD booth. But yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's get back to some comments over here. Let me get back to Chad says, future could definitely be bright with proper coaching. A lot of young talent being wasted. Most appear to want to stay at Florida. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's a different world. I do think guys want to stay at Florida. I think there's a good bit of them. A good bit. I do think there's talent on this team. I've said it many a time, and you guys know it as well. That's why I think Billy Napier's fired, or part of the reason Billy Napier's fired. There is a lot of talent on this team, and he didn't take advantage of it. When I said, well, all right, there's a good bit of talent on this team. I won't say a lot, but enough to me. I thought enough to compete this year. Compete for the SEC. We've seen the teams that are competing for the SEC this year. Teams that are right now competing for college football playoff spots. Florida's not one of them. But you didn't need Georgia talent to be in the race right now like Vanderbilt. I mean, things go right, they could find themselves in the playoff. Ole Miss's overall talent, just not to bring up Lane Kiffin and all that again, but still, it's not this great talented team. You're not comparing that roster to Georgia's roster. There's that similar talent right here in this field, right here in this stadium. But nope, not led the right way. So, Chad, I agree. I still think future can be pretty bright bringing the right guy in here. Now, we'll see. Transfer portal does change a lot. Who does the new coach want to bring? Who does the new coach maybe want to get rid of as well? I mean, that aspect goes into it too. Animal says, do you think Roberts has been sabotaging the defense because he didn't get the interim job? Sure, looks like it to me. No, I do not think that. Could it look like that? Sure. Is that what happened? No. Let's see. Brandon says, worse than the A&M game last year. I think so. 31-0 at halftime. I don't remember the halftime score of that game. But I thought this one was uglier. Now, like I said, the one I've seen in person, I didn't go to Texas last year. That one was putrid. That one was bad. So I'm saying here at home in the swamp, this is the worst one I can remember. Yeah. I think so. All right, lots of comments. Kenny Roberts says, Dave, I'm assuming, okay. Dave, I can't wait for this staff to be gone. This is embarrassing. One more game. One more game. Alpha Gator, you bring up a good point. And an aspect that I want to bring up. One reason I hate Florida being so bad right now. Alpha Gator USA brings up what a miserable year having the fans show up as proof Gator Nation living up to in all kinds of weather. You're right. Great tailgate today at Harmonic Woods. Had some people come by, some people hang out. But in the chat the other day on Gators Breakdown Plus, and then this storyline was brought up. They had a lot of messages. A lot of people stopped by the tailgate, and there were a lot of people who made either their first trip to Gainesville ever or their first trip to Gainesville in a while. They chose this game. A lot of people chose this game before the season. because we had some high expectations. Rivalry game late in the season, heading into Thanksgiving week. Playing Tennessee late, rivalry game late. Maybe a lot of things are on the line. So, look, people wanted to come to this game. And I had people reach out to me after the game, during the game. It was like, I can't believe I paid for this. This is unacceptable. I've spent this in tickets. I've spent this in getting down here, driving, flying, hotel, all that stuff. And this is what they were rewarded with. Now, I get it. It happens. It's football. It's sports. That's going to happen. But it's just been too much. It's been too much. I hear that a lot. Waste money on this and waste money on that. And that shouldn't be a common theme. We've got to get out of this. That's just where this program is right now. You've got to get out of that. We're in a rut right now. And I don't think it's going to take a lot to get out of it. I don't care what people outside of Gators. If you think so, fine, you can. I'm not agreeing with you. I think this can be turned around and turned around pretty fast. And this fan base needs it. This fan base needs it. Tired of this could sound toxic in some ways, but you give and give and give and give, and you don't get. Eventually, that's going to have an effect in some way. I mean, we're football fans. We're Florida football fans. There's going to be a certain level of support that's just always there. It's going to be that way. We're a football school. We love football. But it is time to turn this thing around. If it keeps going on longer and longer and longer, apathy is certainly it's set in with some, I know, but you still I know a lot of fans who are apathetic, but you know what? There's still a lot that are showing up. Week in, week out, home game, road games, being not showing for the orange and blue. There's a lot of support. There's a ton of support. And this is what they get treated to. It is time to reward Gator Nation. And however you got to do it, go get it done. Soapbox moment there. But I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm tired of people telling me that they feel like they've wasted something. And I don't mean it as in I'm tired of hearing it. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm tired of hearing it. Not in a way towards towards the people, towards that person. The theme of it. I'm sick of the theme of it. We've got to get out of it. Scott says, thank you for your hard work this season, Dave. Scott, man, means a lot. Means a lot. I mean, here we are. 12:30 a.m. I still got to ride to Jacksonville tonight after this. But comments like that, I'll bring it to the tailgate one more time, talking to everybody at the tailgate that I normally do. But so many people stop by and say hello and how much the podcast means to them, and their wife would be there. It's like, oh, it's your voice, and nice meeting you. And, you know, my husband loves your show, and it means a lot. And it sucks when we get a football season like this, and for the string of football seasons that we've just had, hopefully one day, guys, we have a winner to talk about. And I will be here. I'll be here either way. Talking about the fandom of it all, I'll be here either way. But when you guys reach out and just say how much it means, I take it to heart. And I don't take this platform lightly. I don't. I put a lot of work into it. And I'm certainly glad you guys enjoy it. So, Scott, thanks for the message. Thank you for the message. All right, let's see. Death Grinder, good point. How do you guys, so it looks like a Tennessee fan, here we go. How do you guys go Georgia 24-20 and lose to Tennessee like this in the swamp? I'm a Tennessee fan. Death Grinder, I mean, it is a legit question. kind of explaining it to you, if you're still here, that comment was a long time ago. Sorry. But to explain it, I mean, here we are. It was about a month ago, right here in the stadium, was Billy Napier's last game. And Billy Napier gets fired. Florida has a bye week. Billy Gonzalez is interim coach. There's a lot of hype in the interim role. The interim high is what we'll call it. Some changes being made to the offensive staff. Something different, a different play caller. How different will it look? We don't know. So we get to the Georgia game. Some differences. Defense keeps them in it. Certainly driving down the field. It's a 4th and shorts, and Florida falls, and there we go. Has it been all that exciting since that 4th and short stop against Georgia in the 4th quarter? Florida's driving, score a touchdown there. Florida probably wins the game. But you're right. And then so you get past that game, and all right, it's all the change. Everything that was going to be different. We tried it. It didn't work. Probably some disappointment. So you go to Kentucky the next week, get it put on you. Play Ole Miss tough in some ways last week. And then it's been a roller coaster, like I said earlier. And now come back home to the Swamp, which I thought, you're back home. There's some excitement for the first home game in a while, the rivalry game against Tennessee. I expected a better showing. I expected a better showing. I expected the team to play better. Sue me. So maybe that's just what it is. Maybe I had a little bit too much hope for this season and not really let go of it all, thinking they can just go get something out there. And look, I've had plenty of people call me too pessimistic. I've had people call me too optimistic. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means I'm fair. I don't know. But maybe I have been too optimistic in this late stretch. I mean, I've picked Florida to lose, except for Kentucky. But I think I'm going to pick Florida to beat Florida State. Maybe that's too optimistic. I don't know. I mean, I just watched FSU go look like a team. I mean, here they are on a Friday night in the ACC. Muffin punts late in the game. And looking like they didn't belong on the field in an ACC game against NC State. So I'll be picking Florida next week. Breaking news. Tease. Yes, I'll be picking Florida to beat Florida State. Maybe I shouldn't, but that's a bad team too. So it's going to be teams of bad. Give me a second, guys. My wife's checking in. Let me tell her I got how much more we got. A few more minutes before. Let's see. Recording. Look, guys, you get to see the behind the scenes. Here we go. Reporting podcast for a few more minutes. Sorry, guys, but checking in on me. It's late. But she's not watching Gators Breakdown, obviously. I didn't think about it that way, but no, she's not going to turn on YouTube to see if I'm live or anything. So, but it's funny. She could have got her answer if she just turned on YouTube for a second. But no, that's funny. Picking on my wife here a little bit. Alexander, a good point. I'll get back to the game a little bit. A couple of plays here where Lagway was running like his high school days, at least, desperately trying to find a silver lining. There were a couple times he was nimbler on his feet, a little lighter on his feet. I picked up on that as well. Like I said, he had the 38-yard run, I think it was, one more time. If I go back to it on the stats, rushing, 38 yards. So, yeah, I mean, I noticed it a little bit too. Okay, there we go. Checked in. All good. On defense, we didn't go over stats there, but leading the way, Aaron Childs, Jaden Robinson, Miles Graham. I mean, when Tennessee's running for as much as they ran, and your linebackers, Childs with 9, Jaden Robinson with 9, Miles Graham with 8, Jaden Woods with 8, and, man, almost a sack fumble there, big play. And he's starting to come up with some of those big plays. Alfonso Allen with 7, Mbachu with 6, Tyreek Sapp with 5. And at least as far as numbers go, one of his better performances. But Jaden Woods, tackle and a half for loss, 1 sack. Enough of that. Alpha says, I can't remember a season I ever just wanted to be over and get the offseason no matter the coach. I get that sentiment a lot too, sadly. Charles Dodd, UF just needs another dozen or so offensive line coaches. Yep. Rachel Carver, a lot of injuries, and that certainly has played into it. I mean, that's one of the reasons it's as ugly. When this is as ugly as it is, it's not just one thing, and that's certainly contributing. Didn't enjoy seeing Cormani go down. Did not look all that great. Went to the sideline to the tent. He was carted off from there. Kenny Roberts, tired of 12 personnel. Receivers can't get separation. Terrible offense. Man, I'm going to fall on a sword on that one. J. Michael Sturdivant, man, I was looking forward to him. I thought he would continue the Ricky Pearsall, Chimray DK, Elijah Badger, transfer receivers coming in and having some success. Obviously not. Obviously not. Dave, how much O'Hara versus Callaway has influenced play calling? I don't know, Harrison, honestly, man. I haven't looked. I haven't dove in. Lost calls, so I don't really care, honestly. I mean, here we are. I mean, the offense doesn't look any better from Napier to, those guys. So it doesn't matter to me. Death Grinder, I definitely didn't think this, though. He said, as a Tennessee fan, I thought this was going to be a shootout. I didn't, only because of the Florida offense. I thought Florida's best path to a win was to ugly the game up. Florida only uglied the game up for themselves. I didn't think it was going to be a shootout. If Florida was going to be in this game, if Florida was going to have any chance of winning this game, it was going to have to be in old-fashioned SEC slobber knocker. Maybe it's the best way to put it. But, no, we didn't get that. We didn't get that. Gator swag. I'll go to some coaching stuff for a second. We got plenty of time for that this week. Gator swag says, what's the latest with the lane train, of course, and do you think we'll hear anything before, let's say, Thursday or Friday? I don't know. I do. And that's not me knowing anything, put it that way. I just think the nature of the beast takes over. That's where I see that one. And if the decision is going to be made Saturday about the Ole Miss situation, then, we got Thanksgiving Thursday, so we could throw a wrench in some things as far as timeline goes and things getting announced or put out there. Friday is the Egg Bowl, so that's game day. So maybe because there'll be a bunch of media together on Friday for the game, so certainly can play a part. But I'd say Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. I mean, the key cog in all this is, has Lane made the decision yet? I think he's, with that statement coming out by Ole Miss, certainly lends itself to looks like Lane is leaving. I don't think you put that statement out and Lane stays. I don't. Maybe he does. Hard to get a read on Lane Kiffin. And then all the talk LSU and it's this close. Okay. Maybe it is. I'm not sure it is. Whoever the choice is, Florida or LSU or Ole Miss, I don't know if it's this close. I think it is a little wider than that, but I think it's closing day by day. Is that Tuesday? Is that Wednesday? I think we start getting a pretty good idea. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think Florida's done a pretty good job of staying quiet mostly. So that would cause me to back up a little bit on that. If the choice is going to be Florida. But we'll see. It's an odd coaching search. At 3:05. The good news is it's almost over. Tribal Chief Free. Please say we beat FSU next week. I'll say it. And I'll say it again. I think Florida beats Florida State. I think we beat Florida State. Okay. Sorry, guys. I am about to I'll scroll to the bottom right quick. See to get the most recent. .305 ZMF says, unfortunate, seems pretty clear it's LSU. Maybe. Sometimes the loudest isn't always the right lean. Many people thought Lincoln Riley was destined to go to LSU. He was getting that final offer. His family was in Baton Rouge looking at houses and stuff. A lot of the same things we're hearing right now. Where did Lincoln Riley end up? It wasn't LSU. Not the only time it's happened there. And look, I'm not trying to string you guys along and say that, but I mean, here's the nature of the beast. Things are going to get out to shift the narrative. And right now that narrative is LSU. And it might be true. It might be. I just know there's still some cautious. I won't even say cautious. There's just some optimism around Florida still in the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes. Obviously, if I'm hearing stuff like that, I've heard it from some neutral sources too that are not putting Florida anywhere near out of this, and Florida squarely in the mix. I have neutral sources who have said that. Obviously, most of my sources are Florida sources. There's still some good feeling there. Okay, let's see. Dubster says, "What's up, Dub? What's up, Gator Dave? Love and appreciate you, buddy. Thanks, man. Thank you. I'm going to catch you for another game or something when you're in Gainesville again." .305, man. Yeah, thanks. That's about to be the call. Go ahead and go into the house, buddy. This team ain't worth the long night. You're right. I wasn't even planning on going an hour. I knew if I started talking coaching stuff, that would probably take it to an hour. I probably should have just but I knew a lot of the comments were going to be about it, so I can't completely shut it down on that angle. I was going to make a hard rule for myself, strictly talk about the ball game. And it was probably going to be like a 30, 35-minute episode. I know better. And that's not a shot at you guys. I know me better than that. It just wasn't going to happen. But yeah, it's getting late. It's getting late. So we'll continue the conversation. Brian, man, thanks. We have a lot of conversations behind the scenes, man. So it's I'll talk it when I can. I think my light's dying too. I guess it's just time to get out a little bit. But all right, everybody, thanks for hopping in one more time. We get to do this one more time next week. It won't be as late, thankfully. That's another thing. Like, the performances in Florida, too, they've killed my desire for night games in the way of, man, I got to do these type of episodes late. Like, if Florida was winning, I wouldn't mind being up so late and having to drive back to Jacksonville and stuff. But now it's like, almost like the conversation earlier about people buying tickets and coming in from far away for these games, and this is the performances we get. It's like, and don't get me wrong, I know the position I'm in, so I'm very privileged in that regard. But if I had a choice, it's like, all right, let's win. Like, let's do these late episodes after a win instead of a loss, and have something to look more forward to, and the drive home's a little bit better and a little bit easier. You still amped up from good games and good play. We haven't got that. I haven't felt that since, November of last year. The win versus LSU, the win versus Ole Miss, and, driving from this stadium after those type of wins. That's what we thought that November last year might bleed into this year. And nope. Just didn't get it. All right, everybody. Should be doing a Gators Breakdown Plus chat on Discord Sunday night. If you're not a member yet, gatorsbreakdownplus.com. Go join there. Ad-free episodes of Gators Breakdown, all that good stuff, of course. But we'll be doing the chat there Sunday night. And then Monday night with Will Miles, and then we'll see what the rest of the week holds because of the holiday. And, of course, all the coaching stuff. So me, Alex, Sponge, we'll get back together. We've already scheduled that. So still lots going on. You'll still get your normal Gators Breakdown stuff next week, even with the holiday. Maybe more. We'll see what happens in the coaching search. Stay tuned on Gators Breakdown. Of course, we'll be breaking it all down. That'll do it for this episode of Gators Breakdown, live from the Swamp, 31-11. Gators lose to Tennessee. Guys and girls out there, thank you for joining me on this episode of Gators Breakdown.